Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, back on the Norton. Ah, I've changed my mind on so. I've not changed my mind. Something is niggling me a little bit. It's the side mount number plate. Now, I know I haven't got many options how we can mount this. It's literally two sort of fixing points that are any good that we can mount it from. So our options are very, very slim, unlike me. Um, yeah, and the bracket I've done, obviously it's fine, it's practical and everything. It's missing something. I've been looking at it a couple of days now, and yeah, if it's niggling me, I need to do something to it. Don't quite know what yet, but it might be something very, very subtle, and that works. Just a very, very slight change, and it'll work. But it definitely needs something doing to it. I don't know what it is. I can't quite place my finger on it at the moment. It could, even something like, instead of having this gusset straight, get it curved. Little things like that can make a big difference. I'm going to take it off and we're going to have a look at it and see if I can just do a couple of little, very small, subtle changes, and it will make me happier with it. Because at the minute, like I say, I'm sort of okay with it, but it just needs something slightly different doing to it. Let's get it off and find out what that's going to be. Moving forward a little bit. I chopped it off. Yeah. I don't know. It may have seemed okay to some. I get that. But obviously the advantage I've got, the bike's in front of me, in the flesh, in the metal. Some weren't ticking the box with that bracket. Yeah, so obviously with the age of this bike, everything's quite basic and quite chunky. And that, like I say, I've been sort of soaking this up for a couple of days while I've been floating around doing other things, and keep looking at it and shaking my head, taking sharp takes of breath through my teeth and all that. And yeah, it's just not right. So in my head, if I have doubts, then it's got to change. I cannot leave it. So we have a blank canvas again. Obviously that bit's good. That's just the run-of-the-mill stuff. I think the bracket needs to be a bit heavier looking, like the rest of the bike is. Everything's heavy and chunky and purposeful, and this bracket needs to be the same. So I've got a bit of material standing up over there, which is a little bit thicker. So I'm going to put a full plate in the back of this thicker material, and then I can come off that with some chunkier brackets. And I think another thing that was niggling me a little bit, it needs to be a bit further in towards the wheel. I think it was a bit sticky outy. So before we were, hold on, let me hold that differently so I can't lift my arm up. Before we was about there, like so, I'm going to get it across there a little bit more, obviously clear of the wheel, and I think with it tucked in a little bit more, I think that will help with the niggles I've got going on in my head. There's a lot of niggles in there, but I want to solve this one. So I'll start with a back plate for this anyway, like a complete plate that drops in the back of it, which will be a bit thicker, and yeah, we'll just get on with it. Right, we need to draw around this first, and then we'll obviously got to go slightly undersize and drop it in the back of this. Okay, next step, that's cut out, that drops in there. Right, get that welded in, and that's going to give me sort of a bit stronger material to do a bit of a stronger, heavier bracket, which in my opinion is going to suit the bike a lot better. So we'll just get that in and dressed up, and then we'll go from there. Right, that is now nice and chunky. That's going to allow me to put a bit of a chunkier bracket on there. Now I'm also sort of going to try and simplify this as well, and change where we had it before. I've still got to bear in mind that this is going to have bobbins, so it's got to clear a paddock stand. I've just had a look at my paddock stand, and it doesn't come up too far, so, and obviously we're going to go more inboard towards the wheel, obviously clearing the wheel. So I think that is going to end up about there. First bracket, obviously we're going to come off this point here. Then I think after that we just need something that's going to stop the pivoting. Doesn't need to be anything too big and heavy, but just something simple to stop that. Well, let's get on with the first bracket to start with. Right, just getting some basic measurements laid out first. This is our little spacer. So whatever butts up against that, I want it the same size. So if we draw around that there, that's where our hole's going to be. Let's go 15mm. Let me just mark that. Something round. We go with that. That might do that side as well. Let's draw it and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I'm sort of going in the direction what's in my head. set in place with the magnet. I'm just going to put a couple of little tacks on it for now, and then try it in place. And then I've got to get my brain in gear, or keep my brain in gear, so I'm quite happy how it's going now, and figure out like the little steady for it to stop it spinning. That'll do us for now. Right, let's just give this a little try, see how we are so far. That is so much better. I was thinking of doing a cutout, but it's quite a small bracket. I don't think it needs it. It does look nice and chunky like that. Right, I've pulled up my chair to give it a good coat of looking at. I am very happy with that bracket that we've done so far, but obviously we need another one to stop it tilting around. I have got another lug on the frame. Now I've just put that brass fitting that we had on the previous bracket onto that lug to try and figure something out where I could use that. So basically we got that so far, which I think is much better. We've got a decent angle there for it. If you look at that, look at it from behind, that's all good. We are more tucked in. We've got clearance from the wheel, that is all good. I've just popped that into there. That was on here, but yeah, I've tried to think of something where we could utilize that still, but it's not working. It's not working with where we've got everything now, sort of more up and tucked in, leaving us plenty of clearance here for the bobbins when the brass comes. So I think I'm going to drop to this one and utilize that somehow. Like I say, it's got to have another fixing to stop the tilting, and I am trying to keep it sort of basic looking, and maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say. This is the thing, you see, with one-off stuff. To try and planning things out does take a bit of time. Yeah, you know, like the Enfields, I've got them side mount number plates. I know exactly how they all go, and they're all the same on every single one I've done. So when you get something different like this, obviously you got to nearly start from the beginning again and thinking it all out. But something will come to mind very shortly, I hope. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that so far. It is much better. Less is more and all that, so they say. And you'll be just slightly restricted with the mounting points we've got. I mean, we've got this here. This would have been the bracket for the spring for the rear stand, but obviously we've got nothing we can bolt to it. As I've said in the previous video, we can't do no drilling or welding to this frame. It's all got to be reversible to put the bike back to standard if need be. I think I've got an idea. I think I've got an idea. Yes. That might work. Right, let's try it. Right, what size is this chrome hub? Right over the centre there. Right. That 95mm in round money. Right. I think I've got something. Okay then. A quick search through all my worn cutting disc, and I've got something there that's absolutely bang on the same size as the hub. I've got in a bit better to measure the hub. That is spot on. How about that? It's a stroke of luck. That means it's definitely going in the right direction today when things like that start happening. Yeah, right, let's sort it out. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to look good. It'll sort of be sort of hidden, but obviously there to do the job of it stopping, like hinging on that one fixing. Right, let's give it a go. I'm going to draw around this. There's going to be a bit of waste going on here, but I need to give myself plenty of material to mess about with. Can I do that somewhere different? So I know I'm quite bad at laying things out on sheet, creating a lot of waste, but there is going to be a bit with this idea till I figure it out properly. Is there going to be the best? No, let's go there. Let's do it there. I don't need a full circle, but I want to draw one. Right. Yeah, that's going to be okay. Bit of a line down there. I'm going to make this way too long. Oh, I'll go have another little bit of think about this before I draw that one. That might be down there. Right, gonna have a little think first. Right, yeah, I've got this so far. It's not going to end up this big, but I'm giving myself plenty of material to work with. I've gone from that straight line to that angled one, just in case I need that little bit extra. Yeah, so I'm just going to get on and cut that out, and then we'll start offering it up to the bike and getting it trimmed down to suit with the idea I've got. I'm talking gobbledygook, you know. It's just, I find it hard to translate from the scramble in here to come out of here to make it make sense. You'll see. Right then, we have a basic shape cut out. So we need to start trimming that down now. I've just offered it up to the bike. So I want to cut down here now and cut down there. And then we'll just keep fine tuning it as we go along. Right, a little bit of marking out then, and probably a little bit more trimming. That might create an interesting shadow. Ignore the shape of that at the moment. It's going to look good. it'll be fine. Let's just do about there. That'll do. Right then, I'm just doing a bit of shape changing. Yeah, it'll be all right. Bit shape down there, bit up there, and it'll be all sorted. Okay then, we have been doing some trimming. So that will act as a nice little brace now to stop this whole thing twisting. I'm just going to pop it on and then we'll do some marking out, then remove it and then do some welding. Get it tacked on. It's far less cluttery looking. Is that even a word? Cluttery? Is that a word? I don't know. Less clutter. So at least we've kept the brass. It's just gone from there to there, and that sort of disappears back there. Follows the hub of the wheel, and yeah, it's doing a job basically. I am much happier with that. Much happier. Let's see what it looks like from the other side. That's better. Sort of can be barely seen, which was a much better option than what we had. I don't know. I know some people like that, and some people may still prefer that. But like I say, I've got the bike in front of me, and there was something about that bracket that just was not sitting right with me. It really wasn't. I think that is a lot tidier. We've used a bit thicker material. It's nice and chunky. Like all the brackets on the rest of the bike, you know, if we look at all this lot down here and here, and design wise the bike is very basic, so I am much happy with that. I'll get that marked up, we'll get it tacked on, we'll get the light back in, and then we'll have a final look at it. But that to me is much more pleasing to the eye. It near enough looks like it's just on this bracket here. Right then, bit of welding done, and that's what we got now. So literally you can see that main bracket, which is far less clutter and much stronger. It's a bit more heavy duty, which is more in keeping with the bike. That's just my opinion from the last one. The first version. Right, let's see what we can do here. I'll pop that on. Obviously we'll have washers and everything when all this is done properly. Then we've got that we used on the previous one, and the little spacer. Ooh. Wrong hole, that's it. That's the one. That is loads better. Loads better. I am definitely happy with that now. Yeah. The little brace bracket at the back's come out good. It was a bit questionable to start with, but it's turned out all right. Let's have a look from the other side. I'll just pop the light back in so we can see. Yeah, all good. Oh, Blue's got the right idea, look. He's got a bed over there and he chooses the concrete. Oh, the BSA. I thought one of you lovely people would jump onto that. Hey-oh. A couple of more planets would have aligned for my end goal, but not to be so far. Right, I think that'll do. That is definitely a tick now. I've just basically got to finalise some welds on it, and that is a job done. Next we'll just plough on. We'll keep ploughing on. I think definitely finish the mud guard and we'll get the seat springs on. It's going to look a lot better with them seat springs on. Yeah, definitely. I know I keep saying it, more in keeping with the design of the bike. It really is. I'm pleased with that. Right, that'll do. I can get on with the next job. Am I going to start now? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that'll do me on that little bit. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.